We are exploring Money Rocks Park in the very eastern edge of Lancaster County near the border of Chester County. I believe there are some rock outcroppings here. The park got its name from a local legend that people used to hide money in the rock cliffs. Don't know if that's true or not. I suspect it's not, but anyway, that's how the park got its name. It's a beautiful, warm, late April day. Very muggy. The sky is hazy. I think there's some scenic views. We'll see how far we can see with the haze in the sky. But I'm glad you're with us today. Let's go check it out. After a short walk of about 3/10 of a mile, we arrive at the Money Rocks overlook. There's a number of large boulders. We'll get on top of those, and to the right is a cliff. Looks like the remains of an old quarry down below. Very popular spot today. Let's get on top of some of these rocks. We're at the bottom of the rocks now, looking up at the cliff. Just wanted to share this view with you. Very popular place today, especially for families. I can understand why. It's a beautiful day, and this is a really interesting place to get out to. Beautiful. The azaleas are in bloom, so hopefully we'll get to see some close-ups of those. Just loaded with families today. Look at those rocks. People hanging out on top. Saw a gentleman reading. Let's make our way down. Alright, we'll make our way back to the top of the rocks and then continue on the trail. There's a loop trail that goes up over the rock cliff and then down to the bottom, and then loops back up. The bottom looked like a quarried area. There was lots of family activity there. Lots of kids playing on the rocks. I was glad to see that. So if you come on a really nice day and on the weekend, that gives an indication of what you can expect. From the Money Rocks overlook loop, we return to where the trail splits, and we are heading west now on what was called the Coxcomb Trail. A young Amish gentleman told me that there was a scenic overlook this way. Check the GPS map, that confirms it. So let's go take a look for the scenic overlook and see what else we can find along the way. Looked like azaleas were in bloom, so we'll see if we can see more of any of that this way and anything else of interest. The Coxcomb Trail formed multiple parallel loops, and we opted to take the loop that descends the hill, so we'll walk along the bottom for a while, then plan to loop back up to the scenic overlook. Just wanted to draw your attention to this. The rock formations are not unique to the Money Rocks overlook. This looks like a pretty interesting formation. Maybe on the way back up, the loop will go through that top section and we can climb around a bit. But for now, let's continue back to the trail. The trail was pretty rocky towards the Money Rocks overlook and has gotten significantly less rocky on the trail at least. But getting off the trail, you can expect to walk through almost boulder fields like that. We just descended a steep rocky trail blazed red, still on the Coxcomb Trail, but now we're at the bottom and we're heading west. Just want to turn around quickly and show you that if you head east, there's a clear flat trail. I suspect that leads to the bottom of the Money Rocks overlook because it looks very similar to a trail that we saw down there. But in any case, we're heading west in search of that scenic overlook. We've come down from the red blazed Coxcomb Trail to the blue blazed Iron Horse Trail. It makes a loop that way, paralleling the contour of the hill, and then this way that goes downhill. We'll take the downhill direction first and then loop up back the mountain and reconnect with the Coxcomb Trail. Hopefully at the scenic overlook. There's supposed to be some railroad tracks at the bottom of this hill. I've noticed that there are multiple old grades running up and down the hill, so those will be worth exploration at some future point. So we made it down to the old rail grade. It's not an actual railroad at this time, but an old grade, but you can see the remains of the rail ties. Frog just jumped in that water. Looks like a little runoff coming out of the rock right there. Another frog. Yeah, the rail is pretty flat here. Easy hiking. Muddy at this spot, but a little bit behind us it was raised up significantly above the surrounding area. So we're heading west on the Iron Horse Trail, and I'm going to loop up, Lord willing, to the Coxcomb Trail and see the scenic overlook, check out that rock formation we saw earlier, and then make our way back to Money Rocks. You can probably see, oh, here's some more old railroad ties. This place seems to be loaded with frogs. So if you're looking for a place to take the kids and play with some frogs, this would be it. At any rate, I don't know if you can see the sun too well, but it is getting a little bit lower on the horizon than I would like, so we're racing against the sun right now. So we still want to see what there is to explore, but just have to make it a little bit faster pace. From the Iron Horse Trail, which was an old railroad grade, we headed up the hill to the red blazed Coxcomb Trail. So that Iron Horse Rail Trail, or not rail trail, but the Iron Horse Trail is worth coming back for some further exploration because there were multiple unmarked grades going off of the trail leading in different directions. So that would be interesting to see if we could find some old ruins back in there. Just want to pause here. Here's some azaleas about to open up. We've seen, here's more. Seen a lot of azaleas on the Welsh mountainside. But at any rate, we traveled up the Coxcomb Trail, blazed red, which led us to a little cleft between two hills with a stream running down through. That was a nice point to relax, take a drink, and then continue up the hill. It was a little bit cooler in the cleft, which was nice. It's actually cooler now that the sun is starting to descend. As we ascended the cleft, we encountered an orange trail which led from Money Rocks Park to Welsh Mountain Preserve. So that's what we were just on up to that intersection. The orange trail, we made a right on the blue trail, and we're very close now to the scenic overlook. We're at another intersection of the blue trail, which we were on, to the white trail, which presumably leads to the scenic overlook. One thing I have to say about this Welsh Mountain portion is that it is very well marked, and the trail is mulched, soft, spongy, and easy walking. Looks like blazed white and green. I see a bit of a clearing through the trees ahead. That must be the overlook. Some more azaleas over here. So on the Money Rock side, the azaleas were already fully in bloom, but over here on the Welsh Mountain side, still looks like they're opening up. We passed through a nice shady canopy on the soft mulchy trail, and here we are, the scenic overlook. It's a bench here. And here it is, a view of the farmland below with hills beyond. This direction, can't see it because of the trees. That would be west, looking towards New Holland. Just take that in for a bit. All right, let's head back towards Money Rocks. We are returning from the Welsh Mountain Overlook, and I wanted to show you this section of the trail. There's many azaleas in bloom just along the side of the trail. So it's the very end of April here, and if you like azaleas, this would be the time and the place. We're at another intersection between the blue trail and the red trail. Let's stay on the blue trail. So I just wanted you to see how well maintained this trail is. It's soft and spongy, mulched. So this would be a great place for young children. In fact, I've seen a number of families with young children up here, even some people pushing strollers, and they seem to be getting along just fine. We're up on a plateau here. The terrain is flat, so it really would be an excellent place for the little ones. And as nice as the azaleas are, they're not the only thing here. Don't see quite as much in this section, but there's a lot of mountain laurel too, which blooms in this area, I believe, first or second week of June. So this will be a great place to come and see that. The section of fern club moss over here, I like seeing that. It looks like little pine trees, I think, like those Norfolk, Norfolk Island pine that people get around Christmas. But we'll plan on following this Welsh Mountain loop and then reconnect with the Coxcomb Trail and head back to Money Rocks. It's later in the day now, much cooler than it was, peaceful. Between Money Rocks and Welsh Mountain, didn't see anybody. Saw one couple on the Iron Horse Trail, then saw several families here on the Welsh Mountain side, but in between the two there weren't many people. Yeah, this part, the Welsh Mountain part, really is not rocky at all, so that's the place you would want to be taking strollers. Do not take strollers on the Money Rocks portion. That's very rocky. Just show you something here. Here's some blueberries in bloom. Trying to get a picture of the flowers. Little bell-shaped flowers, there they are. Many interconnecting trails in this section. That one's not even blazed. Maybe that's an access road. See something. Might be a log. Might be a bird or a groundhog in the distance. Couldn't really tell. Yes, so as I was saying, there are many interconnecting trails here. So I highly recommend getting a trail map if you're not familiar with the area. You won't get lost, but you might end up going in circles more than you would like, depending on how well trained your sense of direction is. All around a nice, easy, peaceful trail. We bushwhacked a short distance from the Green Connector Trail from Welsh Mountain Preserve back to Money Rocks, and this is the rock formation we saw earlier on. So we did make it here. Fun climb on these rocks. There's a turkey vulture in that tree that keeps making a hissing sound. I think it's not too happy I'm here. It was roosting here until I came, and then it flew up into that tree. Let's give the turkey vulture its territory back. We'll take a view from the top of this rock. The king of the mountain rock. Looks like it's the highest point here. There's a view. So that's the trail we went out on heading west. Now we're heading east. There's the sun setting in the west. So let's make our way back to a trail that actually comes up this rocky cliff and then heads from the trail on the bottom, heads east, presumably back to Money Rocks. Just need to find the trail. Yeah, here's more of the rock outcropping. Get another view from over this direction. Yeah, That's over where we were. Okay, let's head back to the trail now. There it is. So this trail was that trail that we saw on the Coxcomb Trail on the way out that went up the side of that rock formation. And now it's curving back in the direction of Money Rocks and the parking lot. We're nearing the end of our journey. First, we went to Money Rocks and were able to climb on top of the rocks, see some interesting views, saw some old inscriptions in the rocks. We also went down to the bottom of the cliff, very popular with families, trails up and down the rocks and a quarry area. And then after climbing back up around the cliffs, we headed to the Iron Horse rail section, an old railroad, and then headed up the ravine to the top of Welsh Mountain to Welsh Mountain Preserve. Saw a scenic overlook and an abundance of azaleas. This really was the perfect time to see azaleas in bloom, and how timely. Here's a last view of them before we head to the parking lot. So if you have a family, this would be a great place to get the kids out playing on the rocks, and we even saw some young families with babies and strollers in the Welsh Mountain area. I want to thank you for joining us at the Hemlock State Explorer today. If you find these videos useful, if they inspire you to get out and explore, if you just have fun watching them, please like and subscribe. The more interest that we get in this, that means the more videos we can make. This video was to give you the highlights and a sense of the trail and the landscape. I hope you can get out and experience it for yourself. You can also see the full adventure at hemlockstateexplorer.com and many other adventures. So I hope you can join us next time at the Hemlock State Explorer.